So with all of this talk about the Authority making their on-screen debut and potentially appearing in the Superman Legacy film, I didn't know a lot about them, so I went back, did my research, and I've been really fascinated by them and their history. So I thought I would give a bit of a brief overview of who these characters are. Today we're going to be doing Apollo and Midnighter. Now, after the Wildstorm characters rolled over into the main DC continuity, some of the characters' histories changed, so these two specifically, I'll try and do my best to kind of thoroughly describe any of these changes. So, the quick and short history of Apollo's after joining the main DC universe in the Flashpoint event is as follows. So, in DC, Apollo, or his secret identity of Andrew Pulaski, grew up in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Sorry if I butchered that. When he was 12, he came out as gay, and his dad sent him to live at his auntie's and just never spoke to the kid again, like never ever talked to him again. At 13, he was abducted by aliens, giving him powers almost on par with Superman himself. He was approached to join Stormwatch, but initially was very hesitant, wanting instead to partner up with future husband Midnighter. Martian Manhunter eventually persuaded both to join the team together. His powers here in DC are as follows: a unique physiology, which has been described as a proton-powered hyper and potentially the most powerful being on the planet, so take of it what you will. He has an accelerated healing, energy projection, technopathy, energy negation, enhanced senses and hearing, flight, invulnerability, self-sustenance, superhuman speed, stamina and strength, and he can generate force fields. Now, this is his Wildstorm history. This is where it gets a little bit more crazy because there was a lot more to do with them in the Wildstorm universe. So Apollo, being his only name as he cannot remember his former identity, was a former US soldier and the first leader of the team, Stormwatch, originally called Stormwatch Zero. He was originally a normal human, but Henry Bendix, who this guy will come up a lot, operator of Stormwatch is what he was, so he was like the Nick Fury kind of the Stormwatch universe, except just like a douche. He was also the first weatherman. He bioengineered Apollo to get his abilities, unlike his DC counterpart who was abducted by aliens. Of this 7-member team, only Apollo and his husband Midnighter survived. They then went rogue, fighting undercover in America. After Bendix died, they were tracked down by the new Stormwatch team, and this led to a very big battle. Finding out that Bendix was dead, Apollo and Midnighter ceased the attack, realizing that Bendix wasn't actually controlling this team and they were kind of neutral. In 1999, Jenny Sparks convinced Apollo and his husband Midnighter to join the new Authority team and come out of retirement. After Jenny died at midnight on December 31st in 1999, the new entity was born named Jenny Quantum, and as soon as she was identified, there was a massive bloody battle over control of the child, and some incredibly disturbing things happened during this, specifically to Apollo. The team was then captured and replaced, and more incredibly disturbing things happened to poor Apollo, man, until Midnight, who wasn't captured, just massacred literally everybody for the things that they did to the team, and mainly to Apollo. After all of this, Apollo and Midnighter decided to adopt Jenny Quantum. Now, there have been some interesting kind of story arcs in that, including Apollo, like Human on the Inside, Coup d'Etat and Revolution, Wildstorm, Utopian and World's End. Apollo's powers and abilities are similar in the Wildstorm universe as they are in DC. These include his unique physiology, as we explained earlier, solar absorption, flight, self-sustenance, invulnerability and accelerated healing, heat vision, energy projection, along with superhuman speed, stamina and strength. First appearing in the Wildstorm universe in the Stormwatch Volume 2 Issue 4 in 1998, and DC in Flashpoint Volume 2 Issue 5 in October of 2011. Now onto Midnighter. Starting with his Wildstorm origin, then we'll go to his DC one, as it's incredibly different also for him. His real name in Wildstorm is unknown, but he uses some aliases like Dave or Lucas Trent, which this one will be coming back up soon, very integral part, as he does not remember much of his early days. Alongside his future husband Apollo, he was a member of Stormwatch, which was created by Bendix, who built them all to be superhuman, and once the costumes were on and the codenames spoken, their previous identities ceased to exist. The team was destroyed on Mission 1, leaving Apollo and Midnighter as sole survivors. Going rogue, they spent the next 5 years undercover fighting in America. We previously spoke about what happened when they were tracked down during this time, just before. Then they joined the Authority together. Midnighter was especially fond of fighting for a final world and relished being a part of the team. He was the architect of the team's first victory. Midnighter was the only member who evaded capture when the US government had the team attacked and replaced, as he was presumed dead, but he had just escaped with the baby Jenny Quantum. He returned to defeat the fake team, rescue Apollo, and it was shortly after this that the two married, and they eventually adopted Jenny as their own. Midnighter took a central role during the team's brief stint. After a visit from a future Apollo told him he was on the path to become a dictator, so to avoid this, he left the team, fighting solo on the streets, leaving Apollo to raise Jenny alone. Once Jenny aged herself up, she reformed the team and convinced Midnighter to join again. Some interesting comic arcs including him are Wildstorm, Solo Adventures, and the World's End plus Superman and the Authority was a very good comic including him and Apollo. So Midnighter's powers are as follows, and there is a lot. Battle precognition, tactical sensors, telescopic vision, enhanced hearing, fight implants, enhanced strength, speed, durability, and reflexes, along with survival implants, enhanced healing, pain receptor control, enhanced immune system, and environmental adaptation. Now, his DC history is not as big, but it's still very interesting. So Midnighter here still does not know his own history, only that he was an agent of the Gardener. So he picked the name Lucas Trent for himself to fit in, so this was his alias in DC, his secret identity, and that's where I said earlier it will come back up. But this is his adopted origin. So at 14, Lucas was abducted by aliens and experimented on along with some others including Andrew Pulaski, so Apollo. Around 10 years after Apollo was kidnapped, Midnighter escaped and became a mercenary. He had been following Apollo for a little before revealing himself to him by intervening in a Stormwatch recruitment, admiring Apollo's drive and methods, even applauding him on violently taking down a child pornography ring corno. Yeah. After this, he started working against Dick Grayson and Spiral. During this, Apollo left him, realizing that Lucas Trent isn't his real name. This led him on a journey of self-discovery to find out what happened to him when he was just young and why. Now, he has some similar abilities here in DC, but a fair few of them were removed. So here, he has muscular implants, battle precognition, superhuman strength, durability, speed, agility, and reflexes, along with enhanced vision and accelerated healing. Now, that was just a little introduction into Apollo and Midnighter. We have our other video out, Jenny Sparks and Jenny Quantum. I'll give you like a brief overview and of what to expect when we see them on the live screen. I'd say that most likely Gunn will be adapting the Wildstorm comics, but if we get the DC ones too, I am not opposed. Like, as I said, history's kind of changed, but the characters are still very similar. So thank you all for watching. If you like this, hit the subscribe button. Like this video, that would really help a lot just to kind of get it out there. I'm trying to grow the channel a bit. And let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Have you heard of these characters? Was this informative at all? Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Comics out.